All right. And then Sadia. Hi, Sadia. Lovely to see you too.
Hi, Odile and everybody. Yeah, it's lovely to see you all.
Good.
And yeah, first I want to say how grateful I am, like for all the resources like shared daily. Now I feel like I'm so better equipped now to, face things like anxiety and stress and all these things. I've seen the benefits like the past week and more because usually I'm gonna have exams like this week, and usually exams is like it's a real big time for me,
Right.
and like I would have any kind of um physical feelings such as sometimes I would even vomit and feel bad and have fever and all this kind of thing just to express how anxious I would be. So these that method have been really helpful. So I want to express again my thankfulness to you both. Um, but I have a question. I don't know if you can hear me because I can, I don't know.
Yes, I'm just a little bit confused because I can hear you, but you're muted, it says on here, but I can
It,
hear you. So
it was the same thing my side. I don't know.
I don't know if we've developed, special kind of, supernatural hearing or something. But it says you're muted, but I can hear you. So I hope the recording is picking you up.
It's all good. Yeah, so the question is, I've been practicing zero tolerance, like shifting my focus, bring back. But I've been feeling like triggered as like the more the day they're approaching. For example, I'm gonna have the exams like tomorrow and all the rest of the day, and I feel like it becomes more and more difficult for me to take off my eyes of this future, like all the thing that is going to happen,
Yes.
and refocused on what I'm doing, even if it's the present moment or something. And so I was wondering when we are finding it difficult to shift our focus, so what would you advise?
Oh, Sadia. So this is a great example. So let me ask you this. Oh, I'm picking myself up now on your mic. Let me just, that's weird. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So let's have a look at this. So when you think of the exam, so like you say, you're using the zero tolerance, but it's getting more difficult. So when you feel that you're focusing on whatever's triggering you about the exams, what is it? What's the thing that you're most worried about? Where does your mind go, in other words?
Well, I actually had a surprise because all the exams they were supposed to be written, so now they are all going to be orals.
Uh-huh.
So each time I would think of it being in front of the people and all these kind of things, so I'm like, like totally freaking out. And each time I think, okay, let's find a reference. I've been working on it, but it's the stress still comes back and back and back. So I
All
feel
right.
like it's a lot of time, like trying to not even avoid the stress, but to maintain my, chemical because I can't focus on anything else when I feel like this.
Yes, yes. Makes sense. And so let's have a look at this. So it's going to be oral. So you're going to be speaking to people.
Yeah.
That's going to be the exam. All right, very good. So what's wrong with speaking to people? What's the thing that you're most afraid of?
Uh, well, a lot of things. I realized I was kind of worried about speaking in front of them and say things, and that they would find me like numb and all this kind of thing.
So find
So,
you what?
like dumb.
All right.
I know it's a big thing to say, but this is how it is in my mind.
Yes.
Like I would have to say things they would not be interested because like the thing is I feel like I'm not gonna teach them anything, so it's like okay, I'm gonna be there speaking and So I've been working on it a little bit, but it still
Good.
comes back.
Yep, there's definitely something here. So you're going to be speaking to them now. Worst case scenario, they're going to think you're dumb and they're not going to be interested in what you're saying. Is that right?
And I will have, yeah, like a very bad grade or something like that.
Good. So they're going to think you're dumb. They're not going to be interested in what you're saying, and you're going to get a bad grade. Okay, so that's terrible. Now, when will you be killed?
I always love that question. Well, yeah, no.
So we're going to establish that at no point are you going to be in physical danger from this exercise, right? From these exams.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know it seems like a silly question, and it seems that, but here's the thing, consciously that that's not the case, but your subconscious thinks you're in physical danger, and that's why I'm asking that question, so that you can use your conscious mind to remind yourself and go, I'm not going to die. So them thinking what's wrong with, that's one thing. Now let's drill down. What's wrong with those people thinking you're dumb and not being interested in what you're saying? Why is that a problem?
Well, because they're all my teachers, and well, I've been realizing like a very big part of my life, teachers, they have been having a very big place.
Yes.
I've been working on that a little bit. Like I needed their approval and all this kind of thing. And if I didn't get it, I would think, oh, I'm not smart enough, or not that intelligent and all this kind of thing.
Right. But and now let's put that in the context of the subconscious, because what's really going on is not that they'll think you're not as intelligent in that there's that, but what's causing the problem is that to your subconscious that means death. To your subconscious that means the people who to that subconscious part of you are going to protect you and keep you alive. If they don't if they don't approve of you, you'll be kicked out of the tribe and you'll die, because we're not designed to live alone. So it helps to understand that that's why it's so intense, and that's why it's so difficult to keep redirecting, because you're in that survival state, even though it's not a physical survival situation, but it's as intense. Okay, so this is brilliant, Sadia. Good job. So now let's go to the worst case scenario, make peace with that, and then we'll find the references and change them. So first off, worst case that'll happen. So they think you're dumb, they not interested in what you're saying, and you get a bad grade. And what then? What will happen then?
Then I fell.
Fail, and then what? Then what will you do?
I would redo, or
do it over, yeah. And what's wrong with that?
Well, yeah, always is self-critical thinking about like, yeah, if you retake it, like it means like like it's, I don't know, like I feel both like it's kind of difficult, because I want to be done with it. One thing I've been like, I realized I was catching that is like, I feel tired, exhausted of that. I don't see where I'm going with that and all this kind of thing. Like I want it to be done. So like if I fail, I would have to redo it. Then I don't know if I would have the string, all this kind of thing. And at the same time, like I would still have the same teacher, same person. Like I would be back again, and
Right.
that same situation. So like on both sides.
And that's a bad, being back in the same situation. That's something you don't want.
Well, definitely not. And yeah, and having to kind of face them again or something like that.
All right. So that feeling of I'll be back in that same situation and having to face them again You got that feeling? Can you imagine that feeling?
Yeah.
Good. And now, where in your childhood did you have that same feeling of again and back in that same situation, or having to face somebody or something, probably different context, different topic, but same feeling? You got anything?
Well, no, I've been trying to see that, but I feel like usually like it's usually strong when I think about the word failure, like you felt something.
Good. So failure, what does failure mean to you?
Well, yeah, not achieving something at first. Like,
Okay. And when you see, now you must know other people who failed things, right?
yeah,
You know anyone else who's failed? And how do you see them? What do you think of them for failing?
I kind of feel divided, like confused. There's a part of me that, like, I was never allowed to fail at something. Like, and usually when you fail, usually they would say kind of you didn't work hard enough or all this kind of thing. So like there's a part of me that, okay, you didn't work hard enough or this kind of thing, and there's the other part like just what to say you have the right to fail. Like it's so okay to
That's the subconscious and conscious parts of you. So the subconscious is programmed to feel like you didn't work hard enough because that's what you had drummed into you from little. And then the conscious part of you that understands and knows better is saying, but you have there's nothing wrong. Okay, so this is great. So that's where then it probably is. So that those experiences from when you were a child of you're not allowed to fail, what was the consequence of failing?
well related to school. It was a big thing, like really fear. Yeah.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Well,
Okay,
fear. Yeah, fear of being kind of beaten.
absolutely. And so what's happening right now, Sadia, this is such a clear example, and this is for anybody else who had any kind of punishment for failing. What's happening right now is when you think of those exams, your subconscious, that little girl in you, is still terrified of being beaten. Do you see that? Now we know you're not going to get beaten this time during, now, but your subconscious doesn't know that. The little girl in you doesn't know that. That little Sadia is still petrified of failing because of the consequence of being beaten. Can you see that?
Yeah, that resonates so much. Yeah.
And it would for anybody. Any of us who were beaten as children, this is going to be a key thing because, we tend to think, well, that's over, it's in my childhood. But it absolutely is forming a part of who we are. The foundation of why we need to be terrified of whatever it happens to be, in this case, failing. How perfect is that? So now, of course, you need to go and change those memories. So change them. So I would do a stepping stone. And in fact, I would do this, see if this resonates with you. One of the things I did for myself is I would have it that if you fail, you get beaten, but somebody steps in and goes, oh no, this is not right. No, you are not beating these children, and they get carted off, they get arrested or whatever. The children are protected. All right, so you can create that as a stepping stone. Practice it, and then another stepping stone where you fail, and what really should have happened is that they speak to you, say, okay, so how can we help you? What do you need? Which bits did you not understand? Let's do it again. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Fail is just the way we learn. You know, that whatever should have been, that's how you're treated, and you all get another go at it, and then you succeed. That's second stepping stone. And then the final memory is you never get anything wrong. It's always right. All right. So then you see memories, scenes of you getting 100% on everything, all of your exams, all of your tests, 100% Sadia, 100%. Well done, Sadia, stars, whatever you like to add there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
How would that feel? Good. And this is for everybody. If you were hurt in any way, and whether you think you deserved it or not, because I know a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, I got spankings, but I deserved it because there's no such thing. There is no such, no matter what you did, no matter what you did, there is no such thing as I deserved any punishment. So everyone, this goes for everybody. If you were punished in any way as a child, that's a place you can start and go and change those memories so that you were never, ever punished. Things were explained to you, you were helped, you were encouraged, you were guided kindly, always with kindness and compassion. Any punishment, change it. How does that sound? Is that okay, Sadia? How do you feel now, sweetheart?
Well, much better, because I wasn't thinking about that, because the thing is I was never like, usually I always find a way to avoid being beaten, but I was not thinking about the fear of still being there, of being punished.
Thank you for that clarification as well, because you don't need to have experienced it yourself. You just need to have known about it or witnessed it for that, to put that fear into you, and to have that program, I must never, because sometimes it's even worse witnessing it, because the brain comes up with even worse scenarios and how much, worse experiences. So I know that this goes for a lot of people with siblings as well. When my sister has mentioned this before, sometimes you've got the guilt that you weren't the one being beaten, it was the other one. So you were kind of glad, some of us, you were kind of glad the other one was getting beaten just because it meant that you weren't. So that's another aspect for people with siblings, and that's nothing to be ashamed of or guilty of. That's a normal human reaction. And again, change it so that nobody was ever beaten, nobody was ever punished. So thank you, Sadia. Yes, because that little you, gosh, the terror, the fear, the apprehension, and of course that's all being reproduced now.
Thank you. I was not thinking about that at all. Even for my siblings, yeah.
Pardon?
No, I was not thinking about that at all. Like, I have not experienced it, like find a way to avoid it, but my siblings, so they were experiencing it, and I was there knowing that what it looks like and all this kind of thing. Even if I avoided it, I still had the same fear, but couldn't realize it was the same.
Exactly. And now that part of you is still trying to avoid it. Bless her little heart. Okay. So I'm getting waves of goosebumps as I'm saying this. So this is wonderful, Sadia. Well done, and thank you so much for sharing this, because this is going to help a lot of other people. Good job, you. So now you're going to change those memories, but now in the meantime, how do you feel now about the exams?
Well, we were talking, like, I feel like some kind of relief. Yes. But like, it's always a thing of practice, like, because usually, like, I'm like, okay, there, I can deal with it, it's okay, and then like after, like, comes back. But I'm so thankful that I know about resources that can help me quickly deal with that before it becomes bigger.
Good. And now on, when that fear comes up, so when you think of the exams and that fear comes up automatically, now use your zero tolerance to hug that little you and tell her it's okay. You're all right, and play the new memories. All right. So every time you feel that fear, go, it's okay, sweetie, that you're not in danger, and play the new memories.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Good job, Sadia. I'm so excited for you. Very good. All right.